Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. You guys, and I do mean guys specifically, have been asking me from the beginning of time, what are my favorite fragrances for men, what I think are the sexiest fragrances for men. You guys always DM me, you guys always comment in my videos and ask me. So it's finally here. I'm here for you guys, and here is my list of top 10 sexiest fragrances for men. These are 10 fragrances that are hands down, in my opinion, the absolute sexiest. These are fragrances I would always want to smell on a guy. There's some designer, there's some niche, some cold weather, some warm weather. There's basically everything. So it's finally here. Your wish has been granted. My top 10 sexiest men's fragrances. And in the end, I even have two honorable mentions that are just great sexy cheapies. So we'll say that until the very end. On the number 10 is Bleu de Chanel Parfum. This one is my favorite of all the Bleu de Chanels, although you can't go wrong with any, and it's only on the number 10 spot because it is so popular and it's already very well known. I love this version because it's just more rich, it's more balanced, it's sexier, it smells just richer. It's got a really great vetiver note. I think vetiver is super sexy. It's got that like rooty manliness, and it opens up with like this orange peel, like a lemon, like a lemon zest. It's very confident, masculine, sexy. You can never go wrong with this. This is the kind of fragrance that you wear when you want to impress a woman. Like, there is no woman in this world that I know that does not like Bleu de Chanel of any variation, but for me specifically, the Parfum, you do you, but they're all amazing. So on the number 10, Chanel Bleu de Chanel. On the number 9 spot is a niche fragrance, and it's called Femine Regent Leather. The first time that I tried it, I was at Lucky Scent in LA, and it smells incredible. It is one of the best leather fragrances that I've ever smelled. I love leather, I love animalic notes, and especially the men's fragrance, like an animalic leather that's well blended is just super sexy. So I actually only have the oil variation, but, and this is from Oil Perfumery, honestly, it smells identical. I'm just gonna put it on the paper. It's just incredibly smooth. There's a lot of vanilla in here. It's almost more about the vanilla than it is about the leather, but they're very well balanced. The leather note isn't actually a true leather note. It comes from labdanum and animal notes, whatever that means, but it also has cardamom and vanilla. And the way that these combine is incredibly, incredibly sexy. So if you guys are into leather fragrances, check out the Femine Regent Leather or get the oil. Like, it's way more affordable, but it will last ages, but it is more of a cold weather scent, so maybe wait until when it cools down a little bit because we're finally in the warmer months. But yeah, for me, as a lover of leather fragrances, it's one of my absolute favorites. Number 8 is Jo Malone Oud and Bergamot, and I only have a Sephora sample. It is such a nice citrusy oud. There's not a lot of citrusy oud fragrances out there, but this one is incredible. It's an oud fragrance that you can get away with wearing when it's a little bit warmer out. Maybe not in the summer, but in the springtime for sure. And this one to me really just smells like pockets full of cash money. It literally smells like money to me. There's something about it that's sort of like that money smell, I guess, is the way that the citrus combines with the oud, but it's super sexy. It's not a very complex fragrance. It's linear throughout, and obviously, Jo Malone doesn't really last, so again, I'm not against getting an oil version. You guys have been watching me for a while know that I'm totally into oil fragrances, and I do have an oil version of it as well, and this one actually does last a long time. Oud is one of my favorite notes in men's fragrances, as well as leather, and it's just one of those very, very masculine, very confident notes that I find super sexy. I will link everything down below for you guys, by the way, so you can always reference it. Number 7 is Creed Melisim Emperial. This one is probably one of the only like marine aquatic-y sexy fragrances that I've ever stumbled upon. It's a very unique aquatic. It's great for the summer. It's fresh, it's salty, it's a little bit sweet. It's very, very summery, like a summery sexy aquatic. Not in a typical way, like in no way a cool water fragrance or something like that. It's really, really different. It almost has like a salted like watermelon It's just a really sexy, beachy, summery fragrance, and I absolutely love it. Like, you guys that are on Aventus, get off that and get on Melisim Emperial, because Aventus is old news. I'm so over Aventus. It's still a good fragrance. I'm not going to deny it's a good fragrance, but I am so beyond over it, and Melisim Emperial is my jam. It's super sexy. Get on that one. Number 6 is Dior Homme Intense, and I only have a Sephora sample as well. This is the 2011 version. I have not tried the new formulation, so I don't know how it compares. But this is such a different masculine scent. This is very powdery and soft, but very bold and confident at the same time. Like, it's very soft. It has a sort of lipsticky iris in there, and in some ways this actually reminds me of my Shalimar Parfum Initial, but a masculine version of it, and I think it's really sexy. Of all the iris fragrances for men, this is one of my favorites. It's a very elegant, soft, masculine, sexy fragrance. I think when a man smells like this, it instantly makes him more attractive. Number 5 is Maison Margella Replica Jazz Club. That is my absolute favorite from that whole collection. It's really masculine. It's got that boozy, sweet rum, like kind of smells like rum and coke, you know, like, and for some reason, almost a little bit coconutty. I don't think there's a coconut note in here, but it almost smells like a coconut rum and coke and tobacco and amber, and it really does smell like a jazz club. It's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit boozy, it's super sexy, like a sticky, sexy kind of scent. Definitely a night out, like not a daytime scent. I would say definitely a night out, definitely for the cooler evenings, but an amazing, sexy going out fragrance. Maison Margella Jazz Club. Check that one out for sure. Number 4 is Tom Ford Oud Wood. This one has been on the top of my list for ages. I love this one. It was one of my absolute favorite oud fragrances. I've talked about it before in my date nights video. I'll link it up at the top. It's just a really, really confident, bold, dry oud with other woody notes, with cardamom. It's very, very confident. Like, a very confident man has to wear this. You can't be a shy guy and pull this off. You have to be charismatic, exuberant, bold. Like, it's super sexy in that sense. And I love oud in a fragrance. This is the kind of oud that I like. I like this type of dry oud. I don't like that pungent barnyard oud. This is the kind of oud that I really enjoy, and I haven't even sprayed it yet because I just remember how it smells because I smell it so frequently. But I do just personally have the Sephora sample, and yeah, it's just, oh my god, this fragrance makes me melt. It's so sexy. It's one of my absolute favorites. Those of you guys who live in warm climates, I'm sorry, it's probably gonna be a little bit too cloying and overpowering in that climate. It's definitely a cooler weather scent, so it probably wouldn't work for those of you who are in a warmer climate, but nonetheless, one of my absolute favorite fragrances. Tom Ford Oud Wood on the number 4 spot. On the number 3 is Dior Bois d'Argent. This is from the Private collection. This is a myrrh and iris dominant fragrance. There's some soft musk in there. It's a very clean smelling fragrance. It is technically unisex, but it's funny because I feel like I can wear it, but I also feel like it's like insanely sexy on a guy. If I smell this on a guy, it's just one of those, it's very inviting. It's very like, you want to linger for longer when you're around somebody that smells like Bois d'Argent. It's so unique. It's like the kind of fragrance that I would stop somebody and ask them what they're wearing, because it's so interesting and beautiful and sexy and not the common thing. Like, this is nothing like Sauvage or that typical vein of like likable mainstream fragrances. Like, you know what I mean? Not that I'm trying to hate on Sauvage, but I'm not gonna stop a guy and ask him what he's wearing because I already know, and I've known like the first second he walked by. But Bois d'Argent is just captivating. It's super sexy, and I completely recommend it. That is on my number 3 spot. We're getting close to the end now. We're on the number 2, and number 2 I just got a bottle of. I've loved this for ages. Dolce & Gabbana The One. This has been my favorite for so many years. I don't know why I haven't got a bottle of it. Like, it is so amazing. It's like a fresh spicy, but then it turns into a tobacco with amber. It's so inviting. It's powerful and it's comforting. It's very comforting. It opens up with, like, for me, I mostly detect the basil and the grapefruit, but then as it kind of dries down, it turns into more of a rich ambery tobacco scent. There's a gorgeous cardamom note in here. I absolutely love cardamom in men's fragrances. I think it completes it and it just makes it super sexy. There's ginger in here as well. It's spicy. It's not sweet. I wouldn't say it's sweet, but it is warm and not super spicy, just mildly. It's just a perfect balance. It's masculine and it's sexy and it's comforting and inviting, and it's the best. Honestly, this is one of those that I want to smell all the time, as is the upcoming #1 fragrance. This is one of those everyday sexy fragrances that I want to smell all the time. This never gets old, and it's something that I would recommend to anyone. You can even wear this in the spring, maybe not the summer, but definitely in the spring. And I don't know how this compares to the Parfum version. I haven't tried it yet, but that is next on my list. So #2, Dolce & Gabbana, The One. And #1 is Paco Rabanne 1 Million. Just kidding. I don't like that one. #1 is, if you guys have watched my other videos, it's an inside joke and you'll get it. #1 is actually Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme. I absolutely love this. It is, again, one of those everyday sexy fragrances. This is what I want my man to smell like all the time. This is like one of those sexy husband fragrances. This is like a sexy, dependable guy, not a flake, like a kind of guy that, you can always count on. He's a nice guy, nice is sexy. This is an amazing snuggly fragrance. It's perfect for Netflix and chill. I want to smell this all the time. Like, this does something to me that every other fragrance, no matter how good it is, just doesn't do. Like, this just hits all the right spots. It's absolutely perfect. It's great for anytime. This is absolutely signature scent worthy. I recommend this to everyone all the time. This is perfect literally for anybody at any time of year, in any occasion. And this is, for me, the absolute most sexy fragrance that I've ever smelled, and not in that typical way. This is just a comforting, sexy scent that I want to snuggle up to this person that's wearing this, and I just want to be close to them. I just want to be around them all the time. And yeah, I just love it. So yeah, Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme, that's my #1. And if you guys are wondering, I do like La Nuit de l'Homme, but it is not on the top of my list. I'm sorry, this is an unpopular opinion, but I do find it a little bit more generic and it just doesn't do it for me. L'Homme does everything for me, and La Nuit de l'Homme really doesn't. Hence why it is not on this list. But we are on to the honorable mentions, and the first one is Hugo Boss Bottled Intense. This can be had for $30 or $40. I am just gonna spray it in the air. Yes, it has a certain synthetic note in it. It's not a super expensive fragrance, but it's so sexy. It's like a sweet, like, not super sweet, but it's a man apple pie. That's what it smells like. That's what I always describe it as. It's a sexy man apple pie, and I love it. I think it's great, and it's a great going out fragrance. It's great for any time. If you're looking for a cheapie and you want to smell sexy, Boss Bottled Intense. Mine is the EDP, not the EDT, and get the Intense, not the original. This one will last. The original doesn't last, so definitely go for the Intense. The other one is Versace Blue Jeans. I've loved this for ages and ages, and it's just one of those super simple yet super amazing fragrances. It's got lavender, it's got vanilla, some citrus, some floral notes. I'm gonna spray it on the paper. I love this. It smells so clean and sexy, so masculine, and if you only have $20 to spend on a fragrance and you want to smell sexy, seriously, just go for Versace Blue Jeans. You really can't go wrong with this. It's an amazing cheapie. It's been reformulated, yes, but it's still really good, and I am never going to complain about smelling this on a guy. It is super sexy, and not a lot of people talk about it, but really, I haven't smelled anything quite like this. It's a really outstanding cheapie. So those are all of my favorite sexiest fragrances for men. So for all of you guys that are always asking me,
oh, I want to get a girl like you. What would a girl like you want to smell?
Now you know, and that's not to say that every girl that looks like me is gonna like these, but if she has good taste, then she will. And if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!